Hello everybody and welcome to Data Engineering Stuff, your highly opinionated data engineering channel. Have you heard about the term data platform? I think if you're watching this video you already have, and I think it's nearly everywhere on LinkedIn, but have you ever thought about, do I really need a data platform? When do I have to think about it? So when is the right point to get my first data platform? So we are talking not about big businesses with thousands of databases, perhaps more regarding more mid-sized businesses where yeah, it's not that clear whether you should implement a data platform or if everything runs well without it. So have a look at this little graphic here. You see a really small business, perhaps it has just an online shop, perhaps also there's a CRM system, and you have two dashboards and say one simple ML model, and yes, things are really easy to manage. I think you have like in total like four connections here which you have to manage. So yes, it's not that big of a deal. So your business grows, and yes, it's getting tough now. So you get some dashboards, some additional reports, and now there are a bit more dependencies, more connections to manage, and yes, some questions get more difficult to answer. Perhaps there's an auditor and asks, which systems have access to the ERP database? Okay, in this case, it's only one. It's you can see it here, but perhaps it's not that easy to figure out, because if you don't know it by heart, you have to like look here, look here, look here, look here, and see if they have a database connection to the ERP system. So it's really getting troublesome, and at least here you have a problem. This is not manageable. So just imagine the same question, like the auditor says, who has access to the ERP system? Who has access to the HR database? And what is the person allowed to do in this system? It really gets weird to answer this question. Or imagine that your online shop needs to be migrated. So you need to migrate it to a different data store. Perhaps you are migrating the whole store to a completely different application, and you are currently on RDBMS, and now you have a MongoDB. And yes, it's really getting difficult to handle this migration, because all dependencies must be migrated at once, or at least you have to make a plan. So there's no decoupling of components, and you're really getting into troubles here. The same is true for things like load problems. For example, you have a high load on this CRM database, and what really is an issue that databases face if they are confronted with analytic workloads and with operational workloads, because that are two completely different things from a database side. So in analytics usually want nearly the whole table. You want all the data to be loaded, so it's more about mass data to be transferred. Whereas in operational systems, you mostly have something like, find this entry and update it, now found this, and please do this in a transactional manner. So transactions are really important. And if you mix these workloads, you can imagine that you destroy all the caching in the database. All optimizations that the database could do are not really that present, because you can't optimize for two totally different things. So you really get into troubles here, and on the other side, it's completely unmanageable. So migrations are a problem. The load on the database is a problem, and yeah, questions like compliance, governance, you won't be able to answer. You are not able to answer which system has access to which data. or who has once copied this data. Perhaps even you see on the right side there is this external thing. Perhaps now you have a contract with another company and you transfer data to them. So you have a contract with them to deliver data. So yes, you are getting into troubles here if you have to pay if you're not fulfilling your contract. So that it's not only an audit failing, it's just you get a contract penalty if perhaps this data pipeline is not working correctly. So how do you handle this? And you can imagine the answer is you create a data platform. This looks way more easy. So you have all centralized, you have offloaded the performance problems with the load from the operational data stores to a data platform. So the online shop database is not interfering with operational and analytic queries at the same time. You just get the data when they come in. Perhaps you have some, don't know, Kafka Connect, whatever, to get the data out of the database. You have nearly no problem with migrations. If you migrate here to another database, then you just redirect this here and everything works fine. So it's really decoupled from your data products. You have a higher performance because here in this area you can really optimize for analytical workload. For example, you can see here that you have this new sales prediction model, and perhaps this really needs to work on a NoSQL columnar store because it does make sense for this use case to work on such a database, because the kind of data access really fits that database, and it really is not fitting to an RDBMS. So you can really build systems made for the specific purpose. You can introduce time series database, vector databases, whatever you need for your data products. And you have governance, compliance, you have backup recovery, you could have CI/CD stuff for all your pipelines, all is manageable. A job that failed, you can just centrally restart. You have the whole logging and monitoring stuff. So the list is endless what the data platform provides. But I have to say, you saw the first picture, you perhaps won't need it here, and perhaps you even won't need it here. So if you have just a handful of databases and they are really well designed, they are not on the limit regarding performance, this is manageable. I think it's getting tough, okay, but if that is the case, you can do that. You don't need a data platform for such an infrastructure, but here you should really think about it. And if you think about really big companies, you have on the left side like 5,000 databases or something like that, even more. And then you really need a data platform which solves all the data handling problems for big data, for huge tables. And what I didn't mention is that here you get this synergy effect. So you can combine data from the online shop and the CRM system and provide that as a fully built related data store. So someone could just query the data as if it were just one data store. No data scientist has to bother about the online shop data not matching the data from the CRM or from the finance database. You can create a few from them, or you can just put them together in one purpose-built database. And yes, it really helps the developer journey of a data scientist, of a data analyst. And yes, the value of the data gets much higher if you put the data into a data platform and combine the data, because that exponentially higher the value of your data. So, have you thought about creating a data platform for your company? Did that help you to decide whether you need it? Please let me know, and I'm happy if you share, subscribe, and like. Thank you.